The story I'm going to tell is called My Friend Tim. And it's about a guy that I met in 1995 at Sunset High School. Oh man, start over? So Tim and I became friends at Sunset in 1995 when we played baseball together. We became friends immediately. Later on, after we graduated high school, I pretty much became one of his brothers. His brothers were more closer to me in age than my real brothers. My brothers were a little bit older, and I wasn't necessarily their brother, I was their little father. So we played softball together, and we kind of experienced life together. He had kids a little before me. He had a daughter that was a little bit older than my son, but we had sons that were pretty close in age, and I wasn't the same kind of dad as he was. I looked at him and I saw him taking his kids everywhere. He always was with them at baseball games, and he took them to any event possible. I mean, he was at Ranger games, Cowboy games, pretty much anything. And he actually got my son to like WWE. And that was one of the things that the kids shared, they had in common. We watched wrestling together. But one day, I'm gonna try to get through this story without tearing up. But one day I received a call, and I used to text him all the time and give him a hard time about the Cowboys or just anything, you know. It's kind of like brotherly love. And one day I received a call from a friend of ours and said, "Did you hear about Tim?" And I said, "No. What happened?" Well, Tim was a sheriff deputy in Fort Worth. And one day he wasn't feeling well. And he went in, he threw up blood, so he went to the hospital immediately. And they found out he had stage 4 cancer. And keep in mind, he's more of a brother to me than my real brother. So when I heard the news, it hurt me. And I watched this guy have a positive attitude about everything. He would go to MD Anderson to receive treatment, and I'd always check in on him and ask him, "How you doing?" And he said, "I'm doing great." He was always smiling. And I never could understand how this guy wasn't upset, because I was upset. I didn't understand why God would do this to people like him, and there was other people that deserved it more. But throughout all his chemotherapy, he had a positive attitude, and he taught me a lot of things about life. He taught me to be a better dad. He taught me to spend more time with my kids. But as his disease progressed, he knew his days were numbered. And when he finally realized that it was almost time, him and I had a conversation. And in that conversation, I learned a lot about myself and how to live life. He told me something that kind of changed the way I live today and the way I think about things. In that conversation, he told me if I could ask God for anything, it would be more time with my kids. And for someone who wasn't a good dad, that struck me down, because I see this guy who loves his kids more than anything in the world. And here I am worried about things that don't matter. My job, things that didn't mean anything. And he told me if I could ask God for anything in this world, I'd ask for more time with my kids. And he also told me, please live your life every day like it's your last, because you don't know when your number's going to get called. And every day I live my life that way. I take my kids somewhere. I spend time with them. I try to be something that will make them proud. And I know that he looks down on me sometimes. And he wants to tell me, slow down. You're doing too much. My kids tell me, Dad, I don't want to go anymore. I'm kind of tired. And all I tell them is I'm trying to make up for lost time. There's only one thing I can't get back, and that's time. And I challenge anybody who is listening to live their life that way. He never got down. And I never understood how he couldn't. But now I try to be that way as well. I try to be happy all the time. I try to bring a little bit of joy to somebody's life every day. Make them smile, make them laugh. Because really that's all I can do. I just want to live my life happy. And I want to be something that he'd be proud of. All he ever asked for was another day. And we get him. We wake up and complain from the time we wake up till we go to bed. You look at every negative thing in your life and there's no reason to. We have a lot to be thankful for. So I just want to live my life that way. I want to be happy. I want you to know that if you're going through some things in your life, it could be worse. Every day that you wake up is another day to fight. You just kind of take everything in stride, take a deep breath, and know that God gave you another day to do good things. So the reason I tell this story is there's so many people that are going through things and they feel like they're alone, and you're not. I just told you, a lot of people don't know that I'm going through some things in my life that are really tough. And I try to put it aside, and in our culture it's kind of frowned upon to be sad or cry. I'm going through some things in my life that are really tough. It's the worst things that I could ever go through in my life. Things that I didn't even think that I could make it through. A couple years ago, what I'm going through now would have probably buried me. But I know, like I said before, every day that I wake up is another day to fight. And no matter how bad it is, it could always be worse. I saw somebody who experienced something worse than I could ever imagine. And he always had a smile on his face. And that just taught me that no matter what I'm going through today, and no matter what challenges I face tomorrow, just keep fighting. No life is going to be easy, and no life is going to be without struggle. But you dust yourself off, and you just keep moving. So I hope that maybe I can, I could affect anyone's, someone out there that's listening. Maybe you'll know that you can see the sympathy in my eyes. You can tell that I'm speaking from the heart. He meant a lot to me, and he still does. So if you need someone to talk to, you're going through some things, just reach out. It doesn't hurt. There's no shame in needing help. We all do. So what? Just ask. It's better to step away and just ask for help rather than to feel alone and allow things to overwhelm you. Depression comes for everybody, no matter who you are. So in those dark times, I do want to let you know that I live my life this way. When the day seems the darkest, the light's coming. So just keep pushing. And that's really all I have to say, my friends.